What's up, everyone? In today's episode, I'm going to talk about Pantera's 2023 reunion tour. Stay tuned. What is up, you guys? It's your boy Luis Torres, and I'm kind of indifferent with regard to this whole Pantera 2023 reunion. There's pros and cons to it, at least the way I look at it, right? Let me slide this microphone a little closer. Okay, so, you have Charlie, who is the drummer from Anthrax, playing drums, taking Vinnie Paul's place. And then you have Zakk Wylde playing guitar, taking over Dimebag's place. So, the plus that I see is that Zakk Wylde has been friends with Dimebag forever. In fact, after Pantera, when they started Damage Plan, Zakk Wylde actually played lead in one of their songs called Reborn, if I'm not mistaken. And then Charlie has always been a Pantera fan, so in 2019, after Vinnie Paul played or passed away, they ended up having this reunion commemorative show, and Charlie was actually the drummer with Scotty Ian and all these other musicians that were there, commemorating the life of Vinnie Paul. Okay, so you have two musicians that have this relationship with Pantera. So I get that, right? God forbid, if I were in a band and God forbid I passed away, like, who else to better take over my spot during a reunion tour than someone that I had actually known for years, that I admired. So there, that's the plus side, right? On the flip side, and of course this is so brand new that no one really knows what's going on. I feel like Pantera was always the Abbott brothers, right? And the Abbotts were there beforehand. Rex was there from the get-go. So I feel, or at least I hope, that at the bare minimum, that a certain amount of profits that come about from this reunion tour go to their father, along with Vinnie Paul's longtime girlfriend, along with Dimebag Darrell's longtime girlfriend also. That's kind of the indifferent part. And that's only because I hope they do the right thing. But then again, Phil, and he's kind of known for being hit or miss. So you don't really know, where he stands. He had that white power position back in 2016. At one point, Phil's band ended up playing with Slayer, and they played in Massachusetts, and I didn't want to go to that show because a part of me feels that there was an interview with Phil where he basically said, I hope someone kills those guys. And unfortunately, who knows if that's exactly what happened, but someone ended up doing just that and ended up killing Dimebag Darrell in a show in Ohio back in 2004. So, and I remember that day like it was yesterday, like I remember just being like, are you kidding me? Here's an idol. Here's someone that, and keep in mind, dude, I'm old. So I remember literally when Pantera's first post-hair metal album came out, Cowboys from Hell, and I was just like, what the heck is this? And just being floored. My buddy Angel, it's funny, Angel's been a musician for years, but his sister is actually a famous freestyle artist in New York City named NYHC. So NYHC's brother, Angel, who I've known for years, who lived on 40th Street between 5th and 6th Avenue in Brooklyn, he was just like, dude, have you heard of this band, Pantera? And I'm like, no. Puts it on, and I'm just, I remember being in his bedroom and listening to it and just floored by the vocals. And Angel was an amazing guitarist, but also a freaking incredible singer. Like how that guy didn't go ahead and start his own band but he was hitting the same exact notes that Phil was doing. And I was just, aside from being shocked that Angel could hit those high pitches, but here's this band and, no one's ever been around before them. And of course there are, right? Because that whole groove style didn't just start with Pantera. Pantera just kind of took it to that escalated level where everyone ended up finding out about them. But, there are all these older bands that people say are very similar to Pantera style that were around for years already. So, but Pantera took that style to a different level of the game. I can even go earlier than that with the Bad Brains that I was listening to in the 80s, with that groove metal. But Pantera was just in your face. It was Dimebag Darrell just completely crushing it. And, they were different than Metallica, than Megadeth, than Sepultura. There were all the Testament, all these bands that were around at the time. And then here's Pantera, who just were at a different level of the game, different style, and just mind blown. So to see that they're coming back with a reunion is great. You have Phil singing, so that's important. But politically, you have to consider, where do you stand with the tempo that Phil has chosen to be on from time to time. And the fact that, if you were a Pantera fan, how do you feel about the Abbott brothers not being there? I think because it's a reunion, it kind of alleviates it to some degree as being like an actual band. Like, I don't know if they're going to disband after the fact. And I hope they would, but I guess it depends on how popular things go with them if they do this second round. I mean, it's been over 20 years, right, that they've actually played a show live. I want to say, what is his name? Carpenter. Jiminy, what the... Anyway, but this one guitarist in my area, what is his name? Anyway, but whatever. But he was in a band, and he actually played and opened up for Pantera at their very last show in Japan. So he posted the photo earlier, and I'm just blanking out right now. But he posted a photo of himself with Phil, and it was literally, he wrote that it was the last show that Pantera had actually played. So how do you guys feel? Put your comment below. Let me know if you think it's kind of a money grab. Initially, that's what I kind of thought, right? You can't help but just be like, no one's really kind of doing anything. Where's Anthrax? Where's Black Label Society lately? So, but Pantera was so huge that you're going to get old guys like me. You're going to get new guys that are going to be, that missed that whole era because at the time they were 8 years old, and they just stopped playing shows. So, but let me know in the comments below what you feel. Again, all I can say is that I feel indifferent because there's information that I don't know. And I think if I knew that they were doing right by the Abbott family and their ex-girlfriends, I feel like that would make things a little better, but I don't know, and that's kind of, maybe I'll definitely have to have a part two. If I start hearing that, Mr. Abbott, who's still alive and 80 years old, who was basically Pantera's engineer for years when they had their first, bunch of albums. If that guy doesn't get anything, like, what was it all for? Is it just for Phil and everyone else to just make a few $1,000s, across a few months and say, okay, we played in Pantera? There has to be more to it, and it would be saddening if things didn't end up with that feel-good feeling, Like, I feel like they need to do right by a bunch of different people, and if they don't, then what was it really, did it benefit anyone that was a part of Pantera throughout all those years? Or is it just Phil taking, hiring these hired musicians and just paying them a salary, and then he's going to keep the bulk of it, and, who knows? But yeah, I'm definitely indifferent, and a few people had reached out to me, and they're like, oh man, did you hear about this? And I'm like, yeah, but, it's cool that it's Zach being the guitarist, but if he's just being a hired gun, then, I feel like that's kind of, again, something has to be given back to those that were Pantera, even though Dimebag and Vinnie Paul's girlfriends weren't Pantera, they were more Pantera than you and I could ever be. You know what I mean? So, I see it from that point of view. You have to do right by people, but guys, again, leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. If you think it's awesome, that's great. I feel like for me, I just need a little more information to decide whether or not I think it's good or if it's bad. Right now, it's kind of 50-50. We'll see which side of the scale gets weighted out a little heavier, but we'll see. But again, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'm back. I needed some time, dude. It gets tiring. I just need a few weeks to just chill and just not, worry about the YouTube channel. But I'm back, and yes, I'm back to being crazy. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't. Thank you so much, and as usual, this guy will talk to you soon.